Everyone wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one wants to lift any heavy-ass weight.
Nobody wants to lift that heavy-ass weight. Man, I know exactly what you're going through right now. I know the 18 hats you're wearing. You're doing the sales. You service your clients at the highest level, and then you want to show up for your people, and you want to lead them in the right direction, but you're also training them. Now you're HR, finding your staff as well, and it's a lot.
They'll stop doing the things that got you there. Like if you built your sales business to 40 or 50 clients a year, well, that's the first thing that goes away when they start to get busy. Yeah. They stop prospecting. Well, guess what? Then your business stops growing. You need to continue to keep doing the things that got you to where you're at. Here's the first tip.
Well, I'm packing up my game and I'ma head out west.
Welcome to the All or Nothing Real Estate Podcast, where we cut through the noise and deliver real insights, real experiences from real estate leaders for those wanting to grow their real estate business. If you have questions, submit your questions at allornothingpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us both on social. And if you find value in this show, share the show. Or if you think of somebody that needs to hear this, share the show.
We're both kind of all or nothing guys.
That is true. That is one thing that is very similar about us.
I mean, I can't have one Diet Coke. I have to have 10.
Yeah, Nevin's laughing over here just because Nevin, how long have you known me for?
10 years?
Yeah, 10 years. So he just about rolled over knowing that it's definitely all or nothing. So,
hey, life's short. Why not give it your all?
Yeah, 100%. Really, I wanted to just have a conversation, reflect. Really, I wanted to let people know what are we doing and share the story. We talked about this week. This week specifically was fantastic.
I was looking at our numbers to start the year here, and when it comes to agent recruits, so agents that we brought on the team, we're halfway to our January goal, and today's the 9th.
Okay.
So we're doing pretty good. I think we have 4 or 5 coming in next week.
Yeah, I think by the end of this month, we're going to have a big final week for onboarding, which I'm excited about.
And that's something that we share is the desire to help more people in real estate. One of my core values in our business is I want to help as many people achieve their goals in real estate as possible.
Yeah.
And that kind of encompasses a lot of things. But as we've grown this company and as we've brought on more and more great people and we've created more leaders, we've done an especially good job of redefining who we're looking to partner with and who we want to be in business with. Mm-hmm. This is something that I learned early on in our team journey. And I know this is probably something you've learned too.
Yeah.
What happens when you bring the wrong people on?
When you let the wrong people in the door, that's a hard lesson that I've had to learn a few times. We were talking about this yesterday is why don't we just recognize the red flags that people are waving in our faces sometimes? They're red flags for a reason. And I think early on in my career or being an operator or building teams, sometimes you're just like, hey, I just want these people to get in the boat, right? They seem like they're great people. We always want the best. I feel like we always try to see the best in people. Mm-hmm. But if you let the wrong person in the door, it can mess up your culture. It can mess up just the rhythms, the productivity. It's really, I think, a skill set. And you have to go through, no one is exempt from the punishment of letting the wrong people in the door. I think you could probably attest to that too. It's like, we always want the best out of people, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way, right?
Yeah, and you know, both of us are just optimistic people by nature, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to see that the person you're meeting with or the person that wants to join the team is going to be a good fit. As we've progressed down this journey of nearly 10 years of building this company, we've gotten significantly better at that. And some of the things that I've learned, you need to forecast the expectation up front.
Oh, yeah.
To agents, you need to be able to lead them down a path of knowing what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of times when people are selling people on joining their company, mm-hmm. they don't really get into the trenches of what is this going to look like and what are we looking for out of you?
Yeah.
And the reason we like to do that is because we can always tie that back to the initial conversation of why we brought someone on. So if an agent doesn't deliver, if they fail to be held accountable, if they don't put up their numbers, if they're not acting in accordance to your culture, mm-hmm. the conversation is a lot easier at that point to say, hey, we talked about this up front.
Talked about it.
You know, and the 5 things that we follow here are this, 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 and this. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the other thing is that the bigger you get, it gets substantially easier. So
okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, anybody that is out there who might be running a smaller team, this is just the hardest time for you right now.
Oh yeah.
It's most difficult by far because you really have to do all the work yourself to go and find the right people. And then you have to help them get productive. You have to hold them accountable. You have to be a good leader.
Yeah.
And as you scale out the company, you need to make sure that you're still in their life, in a relationship with them versus, off to the side doing something else or whatever it might be. And because most team leaders are in sales and they're focused on producing income for their families, it leaves less time. And that's why I think it's so difficult for smaller teams.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as when you get into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
When you're new in real estate, you have to kind of get that fire burning.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. And I tell people if you get past year 3, it starts to get substantially easier.
Yeah. Creating inertia in your business.
Because then what
inertia,
happens?
It's momentum.
Now your brand is being built.
Yeah.
More people know about you.
100%.
And we can relate this to sales and or
team building.
Business building,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
At this point, we're a company of 149 people, including staff.
Yeah.
It's substantially easier to find the right people now.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there.
Yeah. No,
And it feels
agree.
damn good.
Yeah.
Because for years, it was 100-hour weeks, and it was massive letdowns, and it was agents choosing other companies,
Yeah.
and every single time we could have just stopped.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
Yeah.
For some reason. And I just want to establish that at our size now, we have an army of people out there finding the right people. Yeah. And we have the luxury of having a growth team.
And historically, what I've learned is if you fill a room with the right people, you've probably heard this, your vibe attracts your tribe, or real recognizes real, right? If you're a growth-minded person, you're probably going to want to be around growth-minded people, right? When you're not, it's just not great, right?
The best part, too, is when you do get to the size, right? We have specialized positions. We were just talking about this morning in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an NFL football team where you have the head coach, you have the offensive coordinator, you have the defensive coordinator, you have the special teams coach, you have the head trainer.
Yeah.
And the luxury we have at Pemberton Homes is we have leaders in all of those positions, which frees me up to go and do the things that I do best, which is stay involved in the agents' lives, lead the company, be visible, and go and recruit the best agents in the marketplace.
Yeah. And it takes time, right?
It takes time. It takes time. And then knowing that I have unbelievable leaders in those spots gives me confidence that our company is on the right path.
Yeah.
And so it's a huge luxury. And I just want to point that out because I don't think that is said enough. But at the same time, it was 9 years to get here.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Anything great, anything that I think works is going to take time. And I like to talk about this a lot, like when I speak or teach or anything like that. Like expectations, it's hard. Like everyone wants to eat the hot dog. They don't want to know how it's made, right?
Yeah.
Or they like to talk about it, but when you're really going through it, I don't know, like...
Everyone wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one wants to lift any heavy-ass weight.
Nobody wants to lift that heavy-ass weight. Ronnie Coleman reference. I love it, man. The resiliency is a quality, I think, and I love that stuff, and I geek out on this stuff all the time, but it takes a certain kind of a crazy person to do this, to do that, to take 9 years and go like, we could talk about the failures, right? We can talk about that stuff. And you didn't find the right people the first time. Like this just didn't magically all fall into place, right?
No. And I'll say this. I mean, Liz has been with us since the beginning and has been a huge part of my growth journey, this company's growth journey, our agents lives. So having somebody else a part of the picture is very beneficial.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky to have Liz. And so her and I really from the start, with Nicole, and then came Andy, and then came John, and then came Chuck, and then came Crystal. I know agent by agent by agent how this is built. And that's one of my favorite parts is that you have that story to tell now.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I have an obligation to give back to those that are looking to just have more success in real estate. Like you don't have to do what we did. You don't have to grow, a large company. You don't even have to grow a large team. But if you're in a spot where you want to grow, I think you and I align really well with this. We want to help you.
Yeah.
Because we've been through those barriers that you're going to have to break through.
100%. And like being able to sit across a table with a team leader, and because I love real estate team leaders. They're some of my favorite people in the world. And you have a certain kind of connection. And sometimes you just want to go, man, I know exactly what you're going through right now. I know the 18 hats you're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're doing the sales and you're kicking its ass. You're doing a great job because that's who you are. You service your clients at the highest level, and then you want to show up for your people at the highest level. And you want to lead them in the right direction, but you're also training them. You're also making sure they have opportunities as well. Now you're HR, finding, your staff as well. And it's a lot, right? And there are different ways to help through that.
Well, to add what you said too, now you have to be a content creator. Now you have to know every social media platform.
Yeah.
Now you have to do all this other shit that you didn't have to used to do.
Yeah.
Like in the past, you would just pick up the phone and call people.
You have to be the one to go to the seminars, to retain the new knowledge, to come back and then lead your people.
Exactly.
Right?
What I would tell anybody that wants to grow, really applicable at any level, is that number one, define your value proposition first, and don't have 15 things. Like become the best in one area. Maybe it's training and mentorship.
That's good.
Maybe it's creating opportunities for your team. Maybe it's listings over buyers. Maybe it's buyers over listings. Like, don't try to do all the things. Master one of them, because you can build on that. There's a lot of agents out there that truly are just looking for great mentorship and great coaching to help them do the things they need to do.
Yes.
Now, the more of those pillars you can build, the more valuable your company will become, but you shouldn't focus on all of them at the same time.
Yeah. And I want to touch on that because when I started my real estate team in 2020, it was really out of people wanting to get, hey, do you have a team I can join? Well, it's like, sure, right? It was out of just people wanting to get together and do it. But then people come to you and go, why don't I have business? I need business. What's going on? And at that point in my time and as my growth journey, it was like, well, just do it. I just do it. Don't you just do it?
Mm-hmm.
And for that first season, I didn't know how to articulate and express, well, this is how you do it, because they didn't know how. And that was a huge learning lesson for me, because when people are struggling, I'm like, shit, I hate this for you, right? But like, we've got to get going. Don't you just get going?
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first kind of learning lesson of, not everyone's like you, dude. You need to slow down. You need to teach. You need to like link arm in arm and mentor and train people. And to your point of, you don't have to be a master of everything. Well, then the next thing agents would tell me, well, I need leads. Well, I never ran leads. Okay, I'll buy you leads.
Mm-hmm.
And then they wouldn't close them. I would get upset. And then my coach at one point in time said, who's teaching them how to close them? I was like, I'm not. This isn't serving anyone right now. So I completely agree with you. And that's my value proposition wasn't leads. My value proposition wasn't this when I started, right? So, no, that's huge, man. So step one, articulating and sharing your value proposition. What's next?
I think you need to build sustainably, which means you need to have enough business coming in the door to make it worthwhile to grow a team if you want to grow a team.
Yeah.
Like I see a lot of people that they're selling 20 homes a year that say, hey, I'm going to start a team. And I think it's ego based. Like,
yeah, where does that come from, do you think?
I think it's this industry like glamorizes or creates a celebrity out of the fact that like you graduate from an agent to a team leader, and then you get out of production. And if you get out of production, then all of a sudden you've got some badge on your chest or something like that.
Sure.
And in reality, I'd say absolutely the worst thing you could do. Like, I think you need to grow your personal business to the point where you're selling at least a house a week.
Yeah.
And maybe, this is my opinion, or more. Like, you need to have enough business coming in the door. You're generating a significant amount of revenue that you can then take and reinvest into creating more value for your company.
Yeah.
Because when you do it early on, you won't have the revenue to put back into the company. That's the number one mistake I typically see. And what happens is that team will run into a brick wall because they won't have the resources. The team leader will never be able to step out.
Yep.
And then they won't ever have the time to really devote to going all in.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely been there.
grow to the point where you have an absolute need to actually start to scale, and that starts with hiring a staff,
Yeah.
right? A great admin first, and then it's somebody to handle your paperwork, and then it's somebody to help you prospect, and then it's somebody to help you with marketing, and piece by piece you're building that. But guess what, by the time you build out those pillars, now you have value propositions for other agents that will come in the door, and you can offer that to them.
Yeah. To touch on that, I never understood the poolside selfie writing an offer while they're on vacation with their family. I go, there's no honor in that. There is no honor in you writing an offer at 11:30 p.m. Like, go to sleep so you can show up the next day for your clients. I'm like, you need to get a TC immediately. Well, I just need it done a certain way. Pause. From one control freak, recovering control freak, to another, you don't need to do that. Let someone else do that. And I always kind of say, did you sign up for real estate to like do paperwork? No, you just told me you signed up to help people. So why are we like obsessing over staying up until 1 a.m. to write offers, right? Get some leverage in your life. That's where I was going with that rant.
I'll just take it one step further. I think it's an absolute shame that you would spend the money to go on a vacation, sit in a beach chair, to then flip your computer open, and then take a picture of it and brag on social media.
I do everything for my clients all the time. Sorry, I'm rolling my eyes pretty hard.
That's not a good life.
No, it leads to burnout, I think.
Yeah, and I think that there are enough great people around this market, certainly, in this industry, certainly, and everywhere that you can learn how to sustainably grow your company without having to do that.
And to that point, I didn't realize I wasn't setting expectations with my clients because I was the guy writing offers next to the pool. I was the guy writing offers at 1 a.m. Yeah, honey, I'll I got to get this done. Texting my clients way too late. But I wasn't setting expectations, to bring it back to the first of this episode, setting expectations with them. Hey, I shut it down at 8:30 p.m. And I'm up early, but like Melissa and I, we're asleep. They're like, oh, yeah, no problem. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's actually not that big a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped me a lot.
A lot of times people will move on from building certain things because they want to just jump to the next thing, right? It's kind of a silver bullet mentality of like, oh, let me try this, let me try that thing, let me push that button. And really, the thing that I would recommend to everybody is that you need to continue to keep doing the things that got you to where you're at.
Yeah.
That are also going to get you to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
People will stop doing the things that got you there. Like if you built your sales business to 40 or 50 clients a year, and you had structured prospecting time each day.
Yeah.
Well, that's the first thing that goes away when they start to get busy.
Yeah.
They stop prospecting. Well, guess what? Then your business stops growing.
Yeah.
So what you should really do is commit to continuing to do the activities that got you there,
Mm-hmm.
but hire out the other positions to leverage yourself to be able to continue to grow.
Yeah.
It's kind of the reverse of what you would think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we see that so often, and I personally want to help those people to not waste the money and waste the time and not continue to hit their head against the wall.
No, I completely agree, and we would always say, stop focusing on blocking and tackling, like realtoring. We can get really great at realtoring, and once you get 3, 4, 5 transactions going, following that transaction, and then once they close, what do you have? Nothing, right? So you're like, oh, now I'm in a panic. Pipeline's empty because what did I stop doing? I stopped doing the job. And I kind of broke it down in the simplest form. I forget who I was talking to the other week. And I was like, our actual job is not the realtoring. Our job is to set appointments, go on appointments. Just do that and you're going to be great. Set an appointment a day, go on an appointment a day. That's a lot of appointments.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but following, like, you don't need to schedule inspections. Let admin, let TC, let other people take care of that for you. I've got to go on an inspection. Why? I don't know. I'm opposed to going on inspections. I know some people love it, but
yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't care too much about that.
Yeah.
if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no.
Sell enough homes where you have a choice.
Yeah.
Let's get you to that point first, and then let's have a conversation about it. I just see too much distraction in this marketplace, and I think it's caused from media. It's caused from the brokerage environment we're in. It's a changing environment that we're in. And really, the number one thing is consistency in your actions and your activities, and not getting distracted and getting off of that trajectory. Like, what's the thing that we do every single day after we leave the gym? We come here.
Come to the office every day.
We sold 1,250 homes last year.
Yeah.
We're in a spot where we could say, hey, let's take a couple days off.
Yeah.
Hey, let's work from the deck. Hey, let's work from the house in Florida.
But what do we do?
We're here every single day because not only do we love it, we love the people, but we know that if we're here, we're going to be productive and we're going to make progress.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing since the beginning that has gotten us here is just we show up and we put ourselves in an environment that allows us to have success.
Yeah. Nobody likes to hear that, though.
They don't.
That's we're always looking for the uninformed optimism. Like, what's going to get me to my goal quicker? What's going to get me to my goal easier? And nobody likes to hear, actually, this is what it is. You just show up to the office, you send texts, you set appointments, you go on appointments. Well, that doesn't sound sexy, right? But if you do that time over task, like time over time on task, what is that? I don't even know how to say it. Time on task over time. Thank you, Nevin. That's what gets you to where you want to go. I mean, case in point, like, what have we been doing since we got together? Like, since August. What have we consistently been doing every single day?
Well, I mean, every single day is the same.
It is
like
every day is Groundhog Day.
Yeah. I mean, and that sometimes I make that comment to you. It's like, God, we're literally eating the same thing. It's like the 13th day in a row I've had chicken, rice, and vegetables or 20-gram oikos or like the beef stick, in between our 10:30 and our 11 o'clock. Like, literally to this second, we're eating the same stuff. But at the end of the day, that's what gets you there.
I know.
Let me give you an example that's actually like real applicable to the agent is that I met with Sarah Church the other day, and Sarah's known for being an open house master, right?
Yep.
Sarah's been in the business 6-7 years. She's only 27 years old. Sarah has now gotten to the point where she's in the 30 to 35 sale, $250,000 per year GCI territory. Sarah has the choice of kind of taking the pedal off, or the foot off the pedal, right?
Yeah, foot off the gas.
But what does she do? She continues to hammer her open houses, and she's been doing that literally since the beginning.
Yeah.
But most people are like, you know what? I want to spend my weekends. I got some money in my pocket now. I've got my house, and I want to spend my weekends like having fun. And then they stop doing their open houses, and 9 months later, they're like, where'd my business go?
Where did it go?
Sarah still has plenty of fun. She still values her relationships. She still has a great life, but she knew that the one thing that got her there is the thing she has to keep doing.
Yep.
I think that is, in the end, it's just discipline, right?
Yeah, it is discipline, and take it off of take another example, reading or what you're consuming, right? That is, I think, humanity of consistently. Well, what are we eating? We're going to get the results of what our goals are of what we're eating. If you take health into consideration, right? Are you going to the gym every day? If that's a goal of yours, we'll keep doing it, right? If, hey, this is a pillar I'm committing to, just one open house a week, that's 52 open houses a year, you're going to get results. You will.
You go to the office 5 days a week. That means you're going to go to the office 310 days a year. Are you going to have some success from just showing up?
Just showing up and having conversations with the agents or leadership in this office, you're going to have You're going to have success.
But distraction sinks in.
No, 100%.
Stewman calls it the force of average, right? Force of average is, the bed is warm. Hey, that restaurant that your buddy just invited you to would be fun at 2 o'clock today.
It would be fun.
Hey, that I want to binge that Netflix documentary.
Yeah, Squid Game 2.
All of the forces of average that are coming upon us at all times that want us to break out of being great are all around us, and you have to have the discipline to say no to that stuff. And I the only thing that keeps me on track is I have to do the same thing every day. Otherwise, I get out of my routine. And that's
I'm very routine.
it's kind of an addict personality trait.
Yeah.
But every day is the same for the same reason.
Yeah.
There's no like way to spin it. It's just what it is.
And to that point, I think it's okay to have a routine or build a routine for the lifestyle you want. Yours is going to look different than someone else's, right? You built this company. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You built this company or are building this company for a life that you want, right? And that's going to be different for somebody else. But like that, just get into a routine. I think routines and rituals are great. I think we need them. I think we do them even if we're not even mindful that we're doing them. How easy is it? We get home, we hop on the couch, throw on YouTube. Well, that's a routine, right? Does it serve us though? And where I'm going with this is when discipline, I don't know, has a connotation of maybe like you're in trouble or like, at least for me, right? Like it's this hard thing. I don't think it has to be hard. If we remove things if we just removed plopping on the couch and going and turning on Squid Game versus, you don't have to go to the gym every single day of the week, but if you just removed a certain thing, I think you're still advancing towards your goal and advancing your lifestyle that you want.
Well, what if you did go every day? Would you have more energy to fulfill all of the things you need to fulfill?
Absolutely. Oh, dude, I'm a huge advocate. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, that's how I think is I leave the house at 6:45.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Uh-huh.
And what Blake is referring to is some days we start at 7:20, some days we start at 7:30, some days we start at 7:45.
7:45. Yeah. But
So
at least we start.
That does happen. But I get home at 6:30.
Yeah.
And you're out of the house for almost 12 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to be able to run that routine takes a ton of physical and mental capacity.
It does.
And the way that I look at it is that I cannot feel less than 100% if I'm in front of this company, or if I'm in an agent coaching session, or if I'm trying to recruit the best agent in town.
Yeah.
Or if I'm like showing up to a level 10 meeting with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I just can't be less than 100%. And I take that very seriously.
That is so good because I was thinking of this on Tuesday. I think it was this Tuesday on our training. I think I said, when you show up in a meeting, think to yourself, like, would you follow you? Like if you're asking somebody to be a part of it, if we're asking an agent to be a part of this team, or you're asking a seller or a buyer or a new staff member, like how are you showing up and really going like, first, would you follow you? And so, yeah, where I'm going with
And most people would say yes, right? This industry glamorizes like the fun side of it too. And it's just not my style to anymore to do the happy hours and to do the late night parties and all of that. It doesn't work because when you have a company of nearly 150 people, do they want to see their leader out screwing around?
No.
Do they want to see their leader playing golf 5 days a week?
Do they want to be able to count on you?
Exactly. And honestly, it's the biggest gift in the world because it is the best accountability system in the world, because I have that many people that if I let them down, that's significant.
Yeah.
Life-changing if I let them down. And they are all keeping me on track.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize that.
No.
But it's like the greatest gift in the whole world. And it's one that I take very seriously.
Yeah. It's that pressure is, I think it's a gift. Like it really is to have somebody count on you. It's like my wife counts on me every day to show up. My team counts on me every day to show up. I don't know. I want to be known as a guy that people can count on. And for me, that discipline piece, I had to become a more disciplined version of myself so that I could even count on myself. So,
well, and let me say this too. We weren't always this way.
no.
Just to
And a work
acknowledge
in
that.
progress.
And
for
we're not
sure,
freaks.
so,
We weren't
yeah.
we weren't born with this, and we're not any more special than anyone else. We learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
and we made adjustments in our life. And so that's the thing that I always talk to agents about is, hey, if you're not on the path you want to be on right now, that's okay.
Yeah.
But let's work together to get you on that path. And once you're on that path, let's remember where we came from. Let's not go back there.
Yeah.
Well, let's not go back there. If we like what we're doing and if we're having progress and we can see it and feel it, let's remember where we came from versus like getting distracted and doing the next thing or losing the 10 pounds and then going back to the shit diet. Right? But you and I have been doing this long enough now.
Yeah.
Consistently long enough where we can talk about it and we can share those experiences.
Yeah. And I think that's what I personally like. I want this to be about sharing those experiences, because when I became an agent and then wanted to become a team leader, there's no really person out there going, hey, do or do not do this, right? And maybe there was, maybe I just didn't listen to them, right? But maybe I wouldn't have listened anyway. And life is the greatest teacher in this, I think. And I wouldn't change anything, but just jumping in, because there's a lot of agents that probably want to start a team that might want to get distracted right now. Oh, my business is a little bit slower. Actually, don't get distracted. Reflect. What worked? Hey, just do more of that. And this has been the All or Nothing podcast. Follow us on social. We're going to be doing this every week. If you have any questions or you want to submit anything to us, allornothingpodcast@gmail.com. Follow me, Parker, on social. Subscribe to the show. And if you found any value in this, share it with somebody that you feel like have some impact. Have a great rest of the week, guys. See you next time.
Well, I'm packing up my game and I'ma head out west.